We took advantage of some time off. I felt like the girls just needed a little bit of it, so we were grateful for Thanksgiving, be able to spend a little time with our families. But they came back with some really good energy. You could tell that time off was like it was good for us because we did not have to motivate them at all to want to get back in the gym and start working. So that was a lot of fun to see. And so the practices look good. The girls, like I said, the energy's just there. We don't have to ask for it. We don't have to demand anything from it. The standard they're holding, and we're just kind of getting out of their way, and just making sure we're being encouraging for them right now.
You guys last year were right here. I mean, and I know that it's a young team, and you still have a few players that have experienced this level. Have they kind of taken over this week as far as leadership goes?
For sure. What I'm happy about is like they're talking about the things that have nothing to do with volleyball, that making sure to stay up academically, because the finals sneak up on you right after you're done. And so they're talking about those things that, like, of course, as a coach, I'm very thankful for, that's something that they're talking about, but also just making sure they're telling their teammates to take it in. Don't just get there, go through it all. Take the moments in, take opening ceremonies in. And I don't know, I just really like the mindset of our leadership, but also even the young girls being able to take it in.
How's the mindset of the team this year compared to last year?
Similar in many ways as far as just like the confidence goes, and the focus. There's just that intangible, it's not even complacency. It's not that's like the quite opposite. I just feel like they're like, we've been here before, but they're not taking it for granted. When we start talking volleyball, it's definitely business. And so I don't know, there is just that, you can't put your finger on it, but they're ready to go. They're ready to get to Seattle.
In terms of, you make it here last year and journey ends right there. Is there any, for the people who were there last year, is there any sort of extra motivation of like, hey, we don't want it to end here, we want it to make the next round because of that?
We haven't really even talked about that first round loss at the national tournament last year, really. It's more of just they're taking the experience, and I think they started that from summer workouts, to be honest. I don't think they're talking about that first round right now. I think they were talking about, we need to come in shape in the summer to be able to perform the way we want to. And that wasn't an issue last year necessarily, but I think they understood it's inches, it's centimeters sometimes that create a point for you or make you lose a point. And I have to say, like, this is the best in shape team we had since I've been here, because they did the work starting June. And so I think that's the difference, is that they're not talking about it right now, late November, early December. Okay, guys, now we got to be ready. I think they started doing that early summer.
Obviously, these are the best 8 teams left in the country. What do you think about Wingate that you think are really well?
So statistically, you look at season box scores. We look identical. Ironically, though, they lead in more categories than not. And so they're a great blocking team. They're a great defensive team, clean offensively, very balanced. And so on paper, we look a lot alike. Physically, though, we're pretty different. We run a 6-2 offense with 3 hitters firing always at a time, and they run a 5-1. But with that, they have one of the most offensive setters I've seen all year. She's one of the best setters in the country, in my opinion. If she needs to score, she's not going to wait for somebody else to do it. She's going to put it in her own hands. And so we've definitely been talking about her a lot, but they've got a lot of pieces. There's a reason why they're 32-2. There's a reason why they have a lot of program success. And so, and Wingate's the only team we've been talking about, but it's going to be a fun match. I really like the matchup, but we definitely see why they are the way they are.
You guys have won a lot of games in 3 straight sets. Is there any worrisome about physical and mental fatigue with games possibly going longer?
No, honestly, that's why we wanted to capitalize on a little break for Thanksgiving. I think they needed it physically. But I think, again, I'm going to go back to June and how they started preparing physically. I think stamina is kind of what has helped us do what we've been doing this year. Minus, or not taking away, but on top of their mindset and how they just prepare the day that they're in. Physically, they're just gritty in that way. And we always talk about being stubborn in the right way, and they sure are stubborn. And I'm grateful the way they show that on the court.
We talked about depth all year, not being able to change lines every day. How beneficial is that this time?
I want to knock on something saying it, but we are relatively healthy to be at this point of season because of our depth. We've been able to use a lot of different arms, different legs, different looks, give people rest that need it, give people more playing time that need it. And this is where we call it our 120th because there's 20 girls on our roster, but the 120th is the reason why we are here right now. Every single piece of that roster has contributed in some form or fashion. And so I can't speak enough for our depth. And our scout team is legit. Our starting lineup gets beat on the regular with our scout team. And I think that says a lot about why we compete the way we do.
What are those conversations been like with Brooke and Casey over the past week? Is it the same kind of stuff, just stay in the course as you guys prepare for this, or has it been like a readjustment, refocusing kind of thing?
The only thing that I think has changed for us is just the logistics of everything that is involved with it being a festival year and traveling. So what we're wanting to do is make sure we get on the forefront of those things so it's not a distraction for our girls. But that is by far the only thing that's changed. There's just more attention to detail in those regards. But other than that, we're not changing the way we're prepping. There's no change of message with the girls. I want them to be themselves. And be the best version of themselves, and I'll go up against anybody. We're excited to play again.
When do you guys fly out?
Tomorrow morning, we drive to Lubbock, and then we fly out of Lubbock. So it'll be nice and early. They're ready. We're ready.